Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about the rise of the Renaissance. If at any point during the video you need to stop or pause the video in order to allow yourself enough time to write down the answers, please feel free to do so. The objective while watching the video today is I can identify the main idea through the content of the Renaissance. Western Europe emerged from the Middle Ages during an era known as the Renaissance. From 1300 to 1600, Western Europe experienced a rebirth in trade, learning, and Greco-Roman ideas. During the Renaissance, Europeans developed new ideas in art, government, and human potential. The Renaissance marked the beginning of the modern era. What changed during the Middle Ages to give rise to the Renaissance? First, we're going to talk about how it affected trade and cities. The Crusades increased European demand for luxury goods from Asia. Italian merchants began meeting the demand for trade in Europe. As a result, Italian cities and a wealthy middle class began to form in Italy. The most important Italian city was Florence, where wealth from trade sparked the Renaissance. A new middle class of bankers, merchants, and skilled craftsmen gained lots of power. The Medici family were wealthy bankers who used their wealth to turn Florence into Italy's most artistic city. We're going to talk now about how it affected government. Kings were able to tax merchants and use their wealth to build armies and strong nations, which hurt the power of the feudal lords. From 1337 to 1453, England and France began a conflict called the 100 Years' War. During the war, nationalism increased as people became loyal to their king and nation rather than their lord. During the 100 Years' War, a new military weapon decreased the power of the feudal lords and knights. The discovery of Chinese gunpowder led to the development of cannons, which helped armies penetrate castles. The invention of the longbow allowed soldiers to shoot accurately up to 300 yards, which decreased the importance of knights on horseback. We're going to talk now how religion was affected. In the late Middle Ages, the Pope and the Catholic Church lost some of its influence as a result of the losses to Muslim armies during the Crusades. Despite having less influence, the Catholic Church was still an important part of the people's lives, and the Pope remained important. Now we're going to transition into human potential. During the Middle Ages, peasants did not own land and had no options other than remaining loyal to the feudal lord and work within the manorial system. The rise of trade during the Renaissance gave people options to leave the manor and move to cities to serve as merchants or skilled artisans. One reason for the decline of the manorial system was the plague, known as the Black Death. In 1347, a trade ship arrived in Italy carrying plague-infested rats. The plague swept quickly throughout Europe along the trade routes. The plague killed 25 million people in 5 years, 1/3 of Europe's population. The plague caused a labor shortage. Those that survived could demand higher wages and more rights. During the Renaissance, people had more options than ever before, which led to a belief that people can accomplish anything. Individuals became the center of attention during the Renaissance. Social status was based on wealth and ability, not birthright. A new way of thinking began during the Renaissance called humanism. Humanists studied the classical ideas of Greece and Rome and believed that education could make the world a better place. What was expected of men and women in the Renaissance? The ideal man was well educated, smart, can dance, write poetry, and play music, called the Renaissance man. The ideal woman should have the same qualities as men, but should not seek fame or political power. Renaissance women were better educated, but had fewer rights than medieval women. That's the end. So go ahead and make sure you have everything filled in your notes and have it ready for class. Adios, amigos.